Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Point of Order. Point of order is a parliamentary term. Well, I'll let our guests explain what point of order is. But without further ado, here's our guest. I'll let him introduce himself.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon, MP Scott.
How you doing?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Can you explain to the people what point of order is?
So, a point of order is a parliamentary term which is normally used by a person who is highlighting a breach of or interpreted breach of the rules. So, you'll hear members say, "Point of order, Mr. Speaker." That means that the speaker would then recognize that this person feels, or this MP feels, as though the person who is speaking has breached the rule. They'll say, "What's your point of order?" You say, "The honorable member is misleading the House. The honorable member is impugning improper motive." And so that's what a point of order is. It's highlighting that it's something happening outside of the order of rules or Robert's Rules of Order.
So basically, the line. You're being nice.
Yeah, well, basically, they are not following the rules.
Okay. Well, basically, what it is. Good afternoon to the people in Cayman. Cayman Islands, Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Brac. Good afternoon to those viewing from Bermuda and other islands. We're being streaming through Cayman Mall Road, so we are legitimately regional. MP Scott, my name is Thomas Christopher Famous. I am an MP in Bermuda, and I have on my left, or virtually on my right, I have introduce yourself.
My name is Lawrence Scott. I am a member of Parliament for the Progressive Labour Party in Bermuda. Was initially elected in 2012 after my father, the former premier or leader of the country for Bermuda, retired. I ran and won his seat in the House of Assembly for constituency 24 Warwick Southeast, and have been this is, I think, my third or fourth election that we're about to go into.
Okay. So tell us, for those who don't know, the percentage of the world that doesn't know who Lawrence Scott is, tell us who's Lawrence Scott.
Oh, Lawrence Scott is, I'd say, happy-go-lucky. He enjoys life, enjoys a good laugh, is a fan of Marvel, Star Wars, and the like. Family Guy fan as well, so you get a sense of what my sense of humor is, but also someone who is, I guess, by lineage, by family, we are philanthropic. My mother started Teen Services, which was a school and then became a housing for pregnant teens. My father was into civil service, public service, as moved up the ranks from senator to MP to leader of the country. And thus, I am passionate about giving a voice to the voiceless and ensuring that everybody is given the same access to opportunity.
Okay, so you're trying to say you're a nice guy.
Pretty much.
And kids?
No children, not married, in a committed relationship, which will probably lead to marriage in the next year or two. So
does she know this?
She knows this.
It is a she, right?
It is a she, yes.
Okay. Cool.
She knows this, but once again, we're working together, not rushing. As my father says, I'd rather wait long than marry wrong.
Smart man. Tell us about your mom, because you spoke about your dad. Tell us about your mom.
Yep. So my mom, she passed around 2 years ago. Olga Scott. She originates from Kingston, Jamaica, Red Hills, and so
you're half Jamaican.
I am half Jamaican. Yes.
Oh, okay. Right.
Spent most of my summers between Jamaica and my other Jamaican family that are in Fort Lauderdale and New York. So between Kingston, Fort Lauderdale, and New York was where I spent a lot of my childhood summers. And so she was brought basically to help start and teach basically sexual awareness in the schools. That became something that a passion project of hers. She became a counselor. She was a psychiatrist by education. Was educated in the United States and then came to Bermuda, met my father. She also did a little modeling on the side. My father was a photographer with his own PR firm. Those two met, and she went on to start Teen Services, which was at the time back in the 60s. Being pregnant, a young pregnant teen was something that you would get kicked out of your house for and almost disowned. And so therefore she created a safe haven for them so that where they can get their education, also have a place to live, and go on to be successful and have opportunities, the same opportunities as being successful as anybody else.
Okay, great. So how did you go from guy watching cartoons to guy who's being in now MP?
So I actually didn't like politics growing up. Politics was the thing that took my father away from me, not able to watch my football games or my karate tournaments or anything like that, my extracurricular activities. But as I got older, I started to realize his why. And the why was because there are people in our society, especially while he was growing up, that weren't afforded access to rights, or even were aware of what their rights were and needed a voice for them. And then I realized that when it came closer to time that I would go out canvassing with him when I was younger, just tagging along, and come to find out that there's a need for those people in our community that have the ability and have the passion to stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves. And then got into politics that way, sort of going around seeing what could be done. And when my dad sort of spoke to the family talking about retirement, I looked to see who could fill his shoes, and then decided to be the voice of change that I felt was needed.
So where is your constituency?
My constituency is constituency 24, Warwick Southeast, and that would be for those who are in Bermuda, from Cubs Hill, where Four Corners, where Cubs Hill meets Ord Road, and where Cubs Hill meets South Shore, all the way to Marley Beach. And then you go back along Dunscombe Road and the railway trail, and you get my constituency. 1,179 people, 789 doors, and 67 dogs.
any cats? No cats in your
Well, I don't have to run from the cats.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about let's bring a little visual. Visual too. Tell us about these folks.
This would be my executive team. You've got Amanda, you've got Jolanda Brown Robinson, my chair in the yellow shirt, Miss Linda DeGrilla, and Tina, who has actually she's left the island, and so she's retired and she's moved to England. So yeah, that's our the core of our team right there on South Shore.
Okay. And what were these usual suspects?
This is the usual suspect. So this would be all of the Warwick MPs. Warwick is blessed to be represented by all PLP members. You've got Dennis Lister, who is arguably, I believe, the youngest MP in the House of Assembly right now. Colonel Birch, who's not the oldest, but he's long-serving. Neville Tyrrell, long-serving. Anthea Wade, who is one of the former leaders, widow, and myself. And so these are all of us. We do various communities giveaways. So we do back to school. We do Christmas decoration and Christmas, basically Christmas event and every so on throughout the year.
All right. That's another. It's a clinic that you have.
Yep, and as you see, we're a very close-knit community. We work together, and each one of us has a different trait, a different background that we all pool together to be able to further our cause and further the causes of those people and residents and voters of Warwick. What's
going on here?
So, Mr. Smith. So this is just getting out. This was in the earlier this year, getting out and about just on South Shore. South Shore is a very heavily trafficked thoroughfare. And we just get out, people stop by, making ourselves accessible. Every Saturday we would do this, and it ended up growing into what ended up becoming a vendors market, which we ran for several years and had a lot of success with it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's once again out every Saturday with some residents in the area, just making ourselves available, listening to the concerns, and making a difference in the sense of being the liaison between the constituency, community, and the government.
Okay. What's this? This is canvassing again?
You could say it's a form of canvassing. As you can see, I wear green no matter what position I play, whether it's on the floor of the House of Assembly or out on the football field. I am a goalkeeper, been a goalkeeper for as long as I can remember. I am goalkeeper for the PHC Zebras Masters League. As you can see, a lot of former national players with a lot of local stars in that team right there. A lot of fun. We get out. We play to enjoy. We play just to enjoy the game.
All right. And what about this? What's happening here?
So I am a pilot, and
Hold on. Nah. What's happening here? You seem to have this affinity to standing next to planes.
So yes, I'm a certified pilot by the Federal Administration of Aviation, Federal Aviation Administration. I've been flying since took my first discovery flight in 1994. Had my private pilot license in 1996. After I went 16, and I've just been getting various ratings. As you see right here, this is that one that you saw before with the seaplane. So I do have my seaplane rating. Yep, have my seaplane rating. That's a Caravan on floats. And then I also have the other one was taken with my Cessna. Was taken at Norman's Key in Bahamas. So I would do some island hopping.
Never heard the name Norman's Key before.
Yeah, if you know, you know. But yeah, at Norman's Key, and just been flying. Yeah, I just love aviation. I have a love for aviation. Go out and fly. Yep, go out and fly every so often. That's in the 172s. Probably while I was doing a check ride, I believe. I think I was in either a check ride or just a cross country with friends. But yeah, just have a love for aviation. But my belief, and it's proven, is that technology comes down from the military, from NASA and space exploration to the military, from the military to aviation. And so I always felt as I was on the cusp of technological breakthroughs and whatnot. So, but it's just very freeing.
All right, so thank you for letting people know who Lawrence is. You're a son. You're a kind of soon-to-be fiance. You're a Marvel fan. You're an MP. You're a goalkeeper. You're a pilot, and you say you do karate as well.
Yes, I do Sainukas, which is so black belt in Sainukas, which is a form of jiu-jitsu.
Okay, so you're almost like MacGyver type of guy. Okay, cool. So let's shift a little to the politics, because that's what we're to talk about, politics to some extent, right? The election's been called. How do you feel about that?
I feel as though it was done at the right time. It is done at a point where the PLP has a track record. The PLP, we are in a position to be able to just stand on our laurels. There's no ad-libbing that needs to be done. There's no exaggeration that needs to be done. The facts are the facts. regardless of how you spin it, the facts remain the same, that we have one of the strongest economies in recent memory. Once again, lowest unemployment, and we're going to be seeing a balanced budget for the first time since Premier Alex Scott's administration, which was also PLP.
Okay, so let's get into the various oppositions we have. And for those that don't know, Bermuda has two main parties, the PLP and the OBA. And over the last year or so, we have two other parties. One is the FDM, another one is a party, but they say the independents, but the party, whatever, right? In any stretch of the manner, they claim that the PLP hasn't did anything for the people. The people should kick us out because they just wasted the money. So here lies the rub of why we call this point of order, because people are not telling the truth, right? So we have to point order them. So here's that. Let's talk about this. Tell us about that, MP Scott.
So growing our workforce with the PLP, one thing is, and I like to always bring it home. In my constituency, what I did was I started, as I mentioned before, I started a vendors market, which allowed for those persons who had an entrepreneurial spirit to be able to start their business. And we've had several successful businesses pass through, if not start or pass through our vendors market, from Ito Beverages to Cookies by Cross to Uplift. And for us, these are persons and individuals that are entering the entrepreneurial market space. They've grown where they outgrew our vendors market into a brick and mortar location, which meant they employed more and more persons. And so that grows the workforce. In other areas, I'm an entrepreneur myself with a private jet charter company, and we too are able to grow. And once again, I also sit on the board of directors for the Bermuda Airport Authority, which is creating a pipeline for Bermudians who would like to get into aviation. And so now there is opportunity in industries that were not there prior to the PLP coming to power. And so once again, we are looking to, and once again, the Premier himself has said it, where he's relaxing some of the tax burden for entrepreneurs. He's making it easier. We're looking to get rid of a lot of the red tape for the small businesses so that they can grow and have as much opportunity at success as anybody else.
All right. Let's go to the next one. Tell us about this one.
And so once again, that goes into the fact that we under the PLP, PLP is the first party to actually introduce a minimum wage. That is making sure, and I sat on the Joint Select Committee that took it through and helped create it and put it into effect. And now what we were finding out during that Joint Select Committee was that there were employers that were not paying their staff fair rates, and that they were taking a significant amount of their gratuities. And so what we have done is ensure that an honest day's pay equates to an honest day's work. Honest day's work equates to honest day's pay. And therefore, those that are in the service industries get to take home 100% of their gratuities.
Okay. What about this one?
All right, Bermudian taxi drivers, 40% reduction in payroll taxes. Before, what was happening is that, and one thing is that I did sit in the seat of Minister of Transportation and had numerous conversations with the taxi drivers and taxi industry on how we can make it a better and more effective and more efficient industry for all that participate. And what has happened is that what was happening before is that the taxi drivers used to have to pay payroll taxes on their earnings. And what we did, instead of and once again, these are small business owners. Each taxi is its own business. They're small business owners. And so what we did to make it as simple as possible, we introduced a flat fee and a flat fee for taxi drivers in relation to payroll taxes. This made the administration process for filing taxes a lot more streamlined. It made it more it made it easier to understand what was owed, and it actually reduced the overall payroll taxes that they were responsible for by 40%. And what's also happened is that the government coffers have seen a significant increase in the amount of taxi drivers that are paying payroll tax in comparison to prior to this policy and program going into place than they did previously.
Okay. Tell us about this.
Affordable quality housing for all. This is something that is somewhat near and dear to me because my mother, who was philanthropic in her, I'll say, private life, also was a civil servant, and she was the director of financial assistance. And so what this is, it's all about providing affordable and quality housing. We have built through the Ministry of Public Works, have built and put more sustainable and affordable houses on the market than ever before in Bermudian recent history. And so therefore, we have also been able to provide for loans and mortgages that have very favorable interest rates and reduced down payments for those persons who are first-time homeowners. So having that Bermudian dream of owning a piece of the rock becomes that much more affordable, that much more achievable, and is done and has only been brought to fruition under the PLP administration.
Okay. And tell us about this.
Now, I must declare my interest is that in my
Well, you own the hotel?
No, I don't own the hotel, but I am a manager at one of the other hotels on Island, which is owned by the same owners of this hotel. But once again, I'll tie it back into my first love, which is aviation, where what is holding Bermuda back from going to that next level, going to that next phase of in the tourism industry is a lack of hotel beds. Air travel and the commercial airlines are, I'll say, rationing the amount of seats that they will bring to the island or that they will fly to the island, because they don't want their guests, their passengers, to end up not having a place to stay or place to sleep. And so therefore, when this hotel goes online, that will open up more seat capacity for the airlines, which means more tourists. More tourists means more economic impact. And so once again, this is going to be, with tourism being one of our major pillars, our main pillars in our economy, this is not just a shot in the arm, but once again, strengthening and expanding our tourism industry and the economic pillar that it represents.
Yeah, and also there's a lot of jobs involved in the construction phase, right?
That's correct. So the construction phase, but once again, it doesn't stop there. You're still going to need your heart of house. You're going to need your food and beverage. You're going to need your front desk, your front services, your security. And so now, once again, there are literally hundreds of jobs that will be made available and will be obtainable by Bermudians as soon as this opens, which is scheduled for, I believe, next year.
Okay, so we're just gonna go to a little video for a minute.
World is in crisis. Inflation, crime, drugs. In Bermuda,
we're living with all of that, and a colonial legacy that built a rigid economic system. The truth is, the government can't solve all our problems, but we're making Bermuda a little bit fairer by putting a little more money in your pocket. Here's how. We increased seniors' pensions 6 times. We reduced taxes on 86% of Bermudians while raising taxes on the wealthy elite. We introduced the minimum wage for the first time. We raised the child care allowance to help working parents. We upgraded CCTV. We remodeled over 70 affordable homes and helped over 30 young people buy their first home. We have more work to do. Our plans include more mental health and addiction counseling, more affordable homes, a senior daycare facility, expanding future care and HIP, and helping you access more affordable groceries. The OBA is for the elites. The PLP are working for a fairer Bermuda for us all.
Yeah. So, as you say, point of order, right? And any of that was untrue?
No, that's all true. And the thing is what I liked and what stood out to me about that piece is the misnomer that governments create jobs. And what a government's role is to provide an environment where job creation is favorable. And that is what the PLP has done. And so and that's what people are seeing. They're seeing for those that are economists, they say when you start to see cranes going into the sky on the skyline, then you know that is faith in one's economy, because those are long-term investments. Construction projects are what known as CapEx, capital expenditures, and that is a long-term investment. So that means persons believe that the decision makers of those companies believe that the economy is not just strong now, but will be strong in the future. And those construction jobs turn into, I'll say, retail jobs, or turn into desk jobs, turn into career jobs. And those jobs leading to, once again, go back into economic impact for the country.
All right. We have a question here from Ms. Charmaine Elias. I want to say, sorry if I messed that up. What is the minimum wage in Bermuda, MP Scott?
I believe it is 60. Is it? I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to
quote. So they played some Jeopardy music for you?
Yes.
The minimum wage for Ms. Elias, the minimum wage is $16.40 US.
I was going to say 60.
I don't know what that is in your country, but it's $16.40 in US in Bermuda.
I was going to say 63.
We have another question from Damian Charles. Are there labor laws in place for jobs first for Bermudians?
I'm not sure what labor laws in place for jobs first for Bermudians, meaning there are certain jobs that are restricted, that are closed, and meaning that if they're closed, they can only be held by Bermudians. A lot of those are actually in the hospitality industry. And then there are the jobs that are restricted, which means that you have to have government permission before you can even put out the job application.
All right. So as we start to close up, what would you tell people why they should re-elect Lawrence Scott for a fourth time?
So the thing is that when it comes to Lawrence Scott is genuine. He is who he is. If I can provide something, I provide it. I always say to all of my constituents, vote for the person you believe will best represent your wants, needs, concerns in the House of Assembly, and be the best liaison between yourself and the government. I have a proven track record where not only do I go out and just canvass creating the vendors market, but also going out and as far as being able to help provide relief funding for some of my constituents. It's not something that we're able to do on for every basis, but we do have a little fund just for hardship fund in our constituency that we are able to tap into. It is limited, but once again, we are able to put you in contact with different government programs that can best assist. So for the people in constituency 24, if you're happy with the representation you've been getting for the last 13 years, then this is the person that's responsible for it. If you feel as though there's somebody else that is on the ticket, that is on the ballot, that can do a better job, then by all means, you can put your X right there. But I think that the proof's in the pudding. This is my 13th year now, and this would take me to 17 years, if not longer, at the end of this stint.
Okay, why should they, as we close up, why should they vote for the PLP? Why should they keep the PLP as government?
Well, simply stated is that you've now taken, the PLP is a party that was the strongest opposition in this country's history, is now producing one of, if not the strongest economy in this country's history. Unemployment is down. The economy is up. Prospects are jobs are in the pipeline once again, and I'm speaking, when I say jobs in the pipeline, mainly in aviation and hospitality, which are two of our pillars. And so once again, you've got the unemployment benefit, which is thinking of Bermudians that are having hardships and needed time. Once again, we have proven to be able to be steady hands during a time of chaos, which was COVID, and we are now proving to be a administration and a government that provides opportunity and allows everybody to have the same access to opportunity, which is unlike what we've seen in our colonial past.
Mm.
I think you froze, Chris. Sorry about that, folks. The internet, we're having high winds in Bermuda right now, and the internet went down for a brief moment. But I want to thank you for tuning in to Point of Order. We'll be doing this 2 times a week. We will be telling you the truth because others like to tell not so much truthful stuff about the PLP. And thank you to Cayman Road and all our listeners from around the region in Bermuda, and I'll see you again soon.